About lately is Elven Chorus, mostly in the context of the Merfolk combo that we were playing a little bit last week, and we'll be playing more of once we get our hands on some new cards. So I also have been wanting to do this for a while, but also like getting to play more with Elven Chorus. I'm starting to realize how strong the card is and how, um, it's in the freaking name, Elves and Elven Chorus. Have they fixed the CPU man issues on MTGO? I don't know. We'll see. If not, we're gonna play some Dark Souls, I think. um, okay, so just very simply put, Elven Chorus, incredibly good card advantage engine for a deck playing 32 creatures. One thing I think that can be kind of easy to think about with Elven Chorus, this is something I was stuck on for a while, is I was thinking that you're not really making good use of this other ability. Creatures you control have tap, add 1 mana of any color. I'm like, we're elves. All of our creatures make mana already. That is not actually true. With 4 Dwynen's Elite, 4 Elvish Warmaster, you're putting into play a lot of tokens that don't have the ability to make mana. The Elite and the Elvish Warmaster themselves can't make mana. Quirion Ranger also can't tap for mana. You have a handful of other ones like Realmwalker. Heritage Druid does, but it is also nice to play Nettle Sentinel. Giving Nettle Sentinel Elven Chorus ability is also really strong. Like, this ability is way more relevant than I realized. And of course, it's an incredibly good card advantage engine as well. It's like, it's a Realmwalker, but it's a Realmwalker that doesn't die to removal, which is a really big deal. And it's a Realmwalker that gives you more mana to cast more creatures and chain stuff together. Amazing card advantage engine that does not actually draw cards is, I think, a pretty good way to fight the metagame in general as elves. I'll also say this. You don't need Crater Hoof. You have Ezuri. Ezuri is better than Crater Hoof. I'll say this as elves. In the last 2 leagues we've played with elves, I've been 9-1. We even 5-0'd a league, I think, with the Agatha Soul Cauldron build of elves, and Soul Cauldron was like the worst card in the deck by a lot. Um, and so that's also kind of like why we're circling back to this too. Cauldron not very good. Elven Chorus is, I think, very good in this shell too. How many games will we lose to Fury? Maybe some. We didn't play against Fury. The last time we 5-0'd, we didn't play against Fury at all. Elves is not a good deck against Fury. That being said, so if you can get Elven Chorus and play against Scam, you're going to be in good shape, I think, for the most part. Round 1. Awful matchup game 1. Games 2 and 3, I have a nice handful of sideboard cards against Minnie, who usually plays Living End. We have a Carrion Feeder in the sideboard today. Nice to get to use this as a good 1 mana card we can chord for against Living End. You can grab it, sack your entire board. That being said, on the draw game 1, going to be very difficult to win. Do you ever talk about Alpha Planeswalker? You'll have to click on it. But also, yes, I did. Yeah, apparently there's a new update where you have to, like, click. Magic Online's maybe a little fucked. I know some streamers have been having issues staying live due to CPU usage. There's, like, apparently, like, an extra click you have to do sometimes. We'll see. We'll see how functional stuff is. Another Heritage Druid. I kind of want to chord for... Oh, sorry, I can only chord for 0 here. Then... let's just play Ezuri. Again, we are likely just going to lose to Living in game 1. Or game 2. So in this matchup is kind of very straightforward. If you're on the play, you have like enough turn 3 kills in your deck that you are like realistically going to be able to win on the play a lot of the time. On the draw, you have to commit really hard into a Living End, and then lose to it on turn 3 most of the time. Here, I think if we draw like another Dwynen's Elite, we could potentially rebuild here. Which we did not do. They have enough for me to concede to. But then in post-board, we get a lot of good Chord of Calling 2 targets. Yeah, I did forget spelunking. I feel like there's always like at least one thing I wish I had talked about and I kind of overlooked. Like one thing is I don't at the moment think spelunking will be great in modern. I could be wrong. I mean, Unity has Fury sometimes. Let's bring this in. It's also like a bad matchup for Elven Chorus, funny enough. Yeah, well, I think I want the first copy. Well, sure. Deathray Shaman was a little bit before my time, but yeah, that's true. Deathray Shaman was, I guess walked so Stacklight Stalker could run. Yeah, I don't think Splunking will be great. I think people will play it and kind of determine it's suboptimal, but I could be wrong. It could be also like more correct than I think. You know, I'm not the most. I like my amulet decks without Titan a lot of the time. It's gonna be really good if we had one more like cheap elf or land. I think I'm gonna have to mulligan that on the play. Sand is very good. I'm gonna put back the Ezuri, I think. Yeah, I think Carrion Feeder is better than Tajuru Preserver, despite Preserver being an elf. Because Carrion Feeder is 1 mana, and you just get to like sacrifice your board instead. And cording for 1 is a lot easier than cording for 2. That being said, you know, not playing around endurance is kind of nice. The deck I built around auto wins when you cascade off of it, if you're interested in seeing it. I don't know. I've been hurt before. I think I have to bottom this, unfortunately. It's just like too bad for me to like play it next turn and get living in without the ability to cord for something impactful. Alright, I'll take a look. Alright, so fortunately we'll be able to cord for something. Unfortunately, it's not Drannith Magistrate, it's just the Carrion Feeder. It is nice. This is like the only 1 mana thing you could cord for in the format that can help you in this spot, or like, you know, the Viserys here maybe would be a little bit better. Yeah, I guess Viserys here would be better. We get a bunch of scries. Oh, is my opponent going to let me untap and cord for more? Yeah, I'm really excited about Cosmium Confluence. I think that card's going to be really exciting. Has Force? I mean, if they have Force, you know, we can lose. You know, very clear what I have with me not attack with other stuff. You know, I played against Benito Nade a few times in my life. That he is capable of not always having the nuts. I shouldn't have attacked with Nettle Sentinel, though. Sorry, I should have just attacked with Warmaster. Alright, here's so... Okay, so you play Quintorius Rand, you minus it, and then you have to hit... You have to Fildar Guardian, and then you have to Saheeli. But are you always going to do that? Or you also have Up the Beanstalk you can hit. The problem... It's been like... I can't even tell you how many times we've had deck techs for like Invasion of Alara decks like this, where we have someone like you that goes, Spike, I broke it. You cast this card, and you win the game. You always cascade into the combo. The problem is... The problem is you're not doing anything in the early game, and your stuff just dies to like almost any instant speed removal. This is the problem. It doesn't actually win the game on the spot. You know what I mean? We're not like a turn 5 win is slow by its like 1, and you do have Fildar Guard, you have Fury and Solitude and Binding, you do have some interaction, but it's like it doesn't. Modern is a form of such premium interaction. Like it's just not going to be a good strategy, in my opinion. Yeah, I mean, Minionade knows I have Chord of Calling here, of course. But I think we just put him in a spot where like he has to have a Force of Negation plus Violent Outburst, which he hasn't had up until this point. Bathrobe with the 19 months. Thank you. Welcome back. Okay, weird game. But I do like the elephant. I talked a little bit about it. I think it can be good in those kind of shells. Oh yeah, the record tracker always breaks after Magic Online update. We can get a text thing up in a second. Yeah, I think Viserys here maybe is better than Carrion Feeder, huh? Although maybe Feeder can like steal some wins. Okay, good hand, great hand. It's kind of close between putting back Realmwalker and Archdruid. It's going to be one of these two. Go back to Realmwalker. New cards out tomorrow. I think pre-release is tomorrow, and then they're not out on Magic Online for till Tuesday. Arm with the 19. Thank you. Welcome back. So nice to just have natty sideboard card on the draw. In a big way, this is kind of what you need. Of course, many know they can have grief or subtlety, but this is modern against Living End. Like when they just have premium interactive spell plus turn 3 Living End, it's just hard to lose if you're playing a modern deck. But if they don't, you can win some games. But it may have Fury. I've seen Menine Fury me a few times. Do what?
It's raining today, so
oh no, poor Athena. Athena, come here on the couch. Come here. Not today. Oh, so that we found the Realmwalker again. It came back to us. We have Lucy though. All right, beat Minidone. Good games, my friend. Off to a nice start. I love how fast he always plays. It's so cool. I think one of the only Magic Online players plays faster than me. A little bit daunting, but we're pretty priced into playing Heritage Druid turn 1, and then yeah, I don't know what's going on with the new mana stuff. There is some new stuff. Oh, Lucy's on the couch. Athena's on the floor. They have the nuts. Looks like they have the nuts to turn 2 up the beanstalk. Hopefully we can not get our Heritage Druid solituted in response to Dwynen's Elite. I'm going to go ahead and get a Overgrown Tomb. Fortunate. Pitching a Leyline Binding. So I go Quirion Ranger next turn. Assuming I draw nothing, I can go Quirion Ranger, pick up the Temple Guard, and Chord for 1. Could also draw something. Tough matchup to be on the draw end. Lost 2 die rolls so far. Main phase, fire the elf, huh? I guess I'm happy enough that they're using a fire like that. Could pick up the a land. We don't have something else to do. Use that last mana, so we'll just pass. Drew for the 26, Sarah with the 8. Thank you. It's like a Shardless Agent. Do you have some more Super League matches coming up? Yeah, next week is the semifinals and the finals. It's me, Javier Dominguez, Corey, and canister. Alright, let's go to game 2. I haven't played against Bean decks at all this week. This is my first Cascade Bean opponent this week, I think. Alright, so let's bring in the Reclamation Sage. I'm going to bring in the Mark of Asylums. I'm going to bring in the Forge-Tender. Do I want to play Force of Vigors in this matchup too? Oh, thank you.
The only thing I know you'll actually take.
No, we cannot play Magus in this matchup. Don't play Magus against the Fire, Ice, Fury, Solitude deck, or you will lose. Play one less Mark. Yeah, I think I probably can't afford these Force of Vigors. You just can't over-sideboard too much. Maybe I can afford some of them, though. Let's play 2. Skite is good here. What would you cut for Spellskite? Would you play Spellskite over second Mark of Asylum? Spellskite, I think, is kind of mediocre, to be honest. It's, you know, you're basically trading a 2-mana creature for, you know, to protect a 1-mana removal a lot of time in this deck. I think it's not particularly good, but I'm having a hard time cutting enough cards. It's hard to sideboard like more than like 5 cards in your Elves deck. Cut down a Realmwalker. This is like a fantastic Realmwalker matchup. I also have 1 Realmwalker total. Uh-oh, we're up against Dead Gone Elf. Come on. This guy is not very good against Fury, yeah. Cut 1. I only have 1 Realmwalker in the deck. I mean, you could cut it, but I mean, this is like the Realmwalker's like very, very, very important card to be able to chord for. It's like cutting it is actually, I think, completely ridiculous. So they have Fire. We draw a land here. We can go Warmaster, Archdruid, and second Warmaster. Drew Quirion Ranger instead, which is interesting. Yeah, I don't really understand these mana tapping changes. They're pretty weird. In the infinite combo, I mean, you can, with like no board, attack for like hundreds, but it's not no truly infinite combos now. Solitude Pitch Omnath, we will take that. To gain 2. Huge. I guess I'm going to attack for 1. And then untap my Quirion Ranger. And then play my hand. Or I guess I won't be able to play... Yeah, I won't be able to play every card in my hand. I suppose I could have if I was never going to be able to have the extra Quirion Ranger activation up. Never mind. But I do have Regen up because I can Quirion Ranger on my opponent's turn here, which is nice. AK Amazing with the 5 months. Thank you. Welcome back. What did they change? It's like there's like an arrow next to the mana, and it's like you have to click an extra time. It seems. A lot of the time. Okay, so they have 1 card left in their hands. Is it correct to regen stuff here? It doesn't. They can't Fury me, so I feel like I'm mostly just like losing a mana if I do that. So it's not. Do you take questions via Twitter DM? No. Thank you for asking here, where I've answered your question. Untap. Yeah, it's actually not more mana to buff with the Warmaster. Let's just get in. Did I mention Thousand Moon Smitty? White card that flips to make constructs. Did you forget? I think it's bad. I think it's bad. I mean, the video's like an hour long, so there's a few cards I don't think are good that I just didn't get to talk about. Well, I did talk about some cards I don't think are that good. That card is worse than Karn Scion of Urza, I think. It's very similar to Karn Scion of Urza, but not as strong. And I don't think Karn Scion of Urza is playable in Modern either, so it didn't make a lot of sense to talk about it. I think. Alright, so I get back up to 2 cards. One card in hand. Alright. Going to game 3. Mark is so slow in the draw. I feel like I just went like maybe the 3rd Force. Gavin of the 29 months. Thank you. Welcome back. Ready to Call of the Death Dweller or Unearth. We played Unearth. Unearth is like playable for sure. Call of the Death Dweller is not a playable card in that deck. I know it's cool that you can get Asmo and a 3-drop, but it's just like that card costs 3 mana and you already have infinite 3-drops. That's really good if we draw like a black source for Overgrown Tomb. Hard matchup to mulligan in. I'm gonna try to high roll a little bit here. What's the Carrion Feeder? It's good against Living End. It's a 1-mana card you can chord for that like saves all your elves from Living End. Maybe should be Viserys here. Looking for Overgrown Tomb or you know, Black Source off the top. They have the nuts again. Turn 2 Bean is just so hard to beat for the decks like this. Of course. Let the Elf Slaughter begin, probably. I'm just concede to a Fury. It is what it is. No, we're not on Cauldron. I know we trophied last time we played with Cauldron, but Shardless Agent? I know we trophied last time we played with Cauldron, but I don't actually think Cauldron is optimal. It was like the worst card in the deck for sure last time we played. We're like I guess now 10-1 the last 11 matches we played with Elves, although you'll lose games like this. Can you click the spell, pay for it with extra clicks? I've been trying it, it doesn't seem to work. You will lose games like that when you register Elves, I think. It's weird Lord of the Rings didn't have any good out. Do you think Grief could stay around Monday? No. But this is, I don't know. Magic players are so funny because they just fantasize, they fantasize their banless wishes into reality. There's not a BNR announced scheduled for Monday. It's just like, Wizards does things at random. You know, I understand that we live in like this chaotic world where they just do all this stuff, and who knows when anything's gonna change. No one has any idea, but it's just like the most random speculation to think that they might ban a card on Monday. It's so funny to me. It's like, what are we talking about? What are we ever talking about? I think this is probably the kind of hand where we want to make a big board and then cast an Archdruid more so as a lord than as a mana engine. We haven't had a Monday in a while. Yeah, we haven't had a Monday in a week, so we're talking about bans. Supernova Twitch Prime, thank you, welcome back. Ooh, and now I'm, oh, I guess I'm not punished because I still have 4 mana this turn. And then the Elven Chorus immediately gives us 4 mana back with 4 elves that, oh, and then the Nettle Sentinel is also nuts here. Let's go. Oh, sorry. Oh, did I do it in time? Obviously, I need to get better at the habit of tapping, but I need to... Obviously much better to use the Nettle Sentinel. Okay, so... Honestly, whenever I play Elves, there's a part of me that's like, it's kind of a good thing Fury's in this format. I love Elves. Elves is my first ever Modern deck. It's there's kind of a reason Fury's in this format. Winds of Abandon. Let's go, dude. Might be getting Wrath of God the next turn. Okay. So Chord of Calling, not really any help off the top. No shufflers. So I can spend... Yeah, I can go... Always go play Forest. 1, 2, 3, 4. Activate the Warmaster. Quirion Ranger, untap. Quirion Ranger, untap here. Nice. Sarah for 30 months, I can thank you. Craterhoof would win here. Please, chat, stop suggesting Craterhoof. It is worse than Ezuri. There's no good reason to put Craterhoof in the deck. You just know the card Craterhoof. You just are like aware that the card Craterhoof exists. You're like, wow, I know a card that like if you cast it, you win. That card is 8 mana. Ezuri does the same thing but better. You know, Chord for Ezuri. It's an elf. It's the 3-mana elf. Please stop suggesting Craterhoof. Doesn't make any sense. No one of Shaman of the Pack. You don't need Shaman of the Pack. You're just gonna win with Ezuri the turn you play it. Shaman of the Pack is not a good card in this deck, in my opinion. But a 1 of Spike, a 1 of Chord for Ezuri and win. With elves, you just make as much value, as much mana, and then you get Ezuri and win. That's all you need to do. You don't need to a Shaman of the Pack to win on the spot. Ezuri wins on the spot. Oofda with the 29 months. Thank you. Is 29 months enough to start giving more unhinged takes? Yeah, I think that's about the time frame usually. Maybe we can save this fetch land for Elven Chorus. Brasophilis with the 4. Thank you. Welcome back. An interesting spot. I think I actually just want to cast Elvish Warmaster this turn, because if I just do this turn, the next turn I'm going to be able to play Elven Chorus off my Heritage Druid mana and just be in such a commanding position. Surprised me easy to play. I don't know. I mean, elves are cool. Yeah, it was it was also my first modern deck. Elves are cool. It's not that complicated. Alright, so Heritage Druid. Untap. Ranger. You get in. Oh, I guess. Yeah, I'll still get Overgrown Tomb. I don't think my life total matters that much, right? So play Elven Chorus. Untap the Nettle Sentinel. Nettle Sentinel, oh my gosh, this goes so crazy. Wow. So I think if I play anything else, I'm just overcommitting into a sweeper. So let's just pass. The One Ring. Guess that's a good Shaman of the Pack argument. Still, I think I'm okay. Although, it is funny, my opponent is probably playing, you know, actual factual Wrath of God. Which means that Ezuri won't be able to regenerate against it. Martyr, no Wrath. Dude, I see Martyr players play Wrath constantly. I don't think that Wrath is good in their deck, necessarily, but I see them play... I've seen so many Wraths in Martyr decks over the years. I like... What is it about my opponent being a Martyr deck that makes us think they don't have a Wrath? All right, I think I think I'm overcommitting if I do anything else. I just like need to keep the elves in the deck. Maybe Bob can chain some rings together. Maybe has a Wrath. We're pretty good against Day of Judgment, not Wrath of God here. Is this not good in the elves deck? No, I've the 3-mana Nissa creature. I've tried to kind of theorize that card, but I think it's like worse than Elven Chorus's card advantage. I think it's like, you know, I don't want to cut any Archdruids, Ezuris, or the first Realmwalker for it. You have to play more fetch lands than you'd really like to, and you don't have like Ridden 6 to like make sure you have a fetch land in your hand. No, I'm not playing Grist. I don't think Grist is good in elves. Have I tried Symptom Elvum? It insulates against Fury. It does not. Sylvan Anthem is shitty against Fury. This is something this is another thing when we play elves we always have to hear. Sylvan Anthem as your Fury insurance. Y'all, that... Sylvan Anthem is not it's not that some 0 mana ley line that you get to just, like, have and play. It is a 2 mana enchantment that, like, you have to take a turn off to cast, and your opponents are still going to kill 2 of your elves with the Fury, and then you've kind of speed bumped yourself to play this Sylvan Anthem. It is like +1/+1 is just not like a good plan against Fury. I think my opponent's still dead. They block here, they go up to 18, they take shit ton. Yeah, go down to the ring. Yeah, Leyline Vitality. It's just not a good plan. This is like buffing your elves by 1 is just not a way to beat Fury. and like elves players, like, if you know how to beat Fury. You know what 2-mana enchantment beats Fury? Mark of Asylum. Prevent all non-combat damage that would be dealt to creatures you control. No Bowmaster pings, no Fury damage, no Lightning Bolt, no Unholy Heat, no Anger of the Gods. It all does nothing. Is Shaper Sanctuary... Yeah, I will say this too, like, elves players and players of decks that are just not super popular in Modern at the moment, you have to try to not play the exact same sideboard cards for 8 years and be like, yep, I got my Ley Lines of Vitality against Fury, there's nothing else I can do, I've got my freaking Shaper Sanctuary against removal, and that's all I need. Like, I don't know, like, these have just not been good plans ever, and they continue to not be good plans. So we're up against Amulet Titan. Hopefully we're not getting turn 3'd. If we draw a land, I guess it's not super likely. Ooh, maybe it's Timeless Lois. Oh, yeah, if we just can't quite cast this Archdruid this turn. I think I should play Warmaster. Next turn we get to go pretty crazy, but if they're Timeless Lotus and they're on the play, they have like huge range of turn 3 kills in their opening hand. It'd be very cool to be playing against it. Oh, it obviously could just be regular Amulet Titan too. But I'm a big fan of the Timeless Lotus deck. I'm kind of torn between playing that and playing the Green-Red Storm deck on the challenge this weekend. First challenge in a while. What are we doing here? So Elven Chorus Eggs, huh? 1 mana, sack a creature, discard a card, draw a card. This is a lot of moving pieces we got here. Okay. Let me take a somewhat complicated turn here real quick. Maybe it's not going to be that complicated. Although, yeah, I can't chord for Nettle Sentinel in the middle of all this, so it's not going to be that bad. Juliet with the happy anniversary. Yeah, I'm a little confused because it feels like you need Tyvar in play. You need to have a lot of creatures. You kind of need to also have this Elven Chorus at some point. And then you just have to have everything going online. I don't know. I don't really get it. I really get, like, Bomat Courier over, like, why are we not playing, like, Elvish Visionary type effects plus sack outlets? Why are we playing Drowned Rusalka instead of just something that, when it enters the battlefield, draws a card? Okay, this is a weird game, huh? Maybe kind of good to, if I could... Yeah, I think it's kind of nice if I can just leave a bunch of creatures untapped here. I get to make a lot more mana off the Archdruid if I use Chord mana instead. So let's use Chord mana. Oops. So going for Realmwalker. Top card just to land. So let's go ahead and chord for Ezuri now. So I have Quirion Ranger that could untap my Archdruid. Unfortunately, I don't have a forest in play. Tyvar is kind of a fun card to see on top. Okay, your turn. Yeah, I will say this. I've hated Shaman in the past. I think maybe the presence of the One Ring makes me care a little bit more about Shaman than I have in the past. I don't know exactly what I'd play to include it. Yeah, you need to be playing like Visionaries and stuff. It's not going to be like a good plan, but to me this doesn't make a lot of sense to play like Ginger Brute, Rusalka, Bomat Courier. There's a lot of these like Elvish Visionaries. I would probably play Walls, like Wall of Roots and Wall of Omens, because those like block pretty well. And then you could also maybe like play some like the Wall mana tribal payoff stuff. Please don't just play a third ring. So they play a third amulet. Shaman targets. Oh, okay. I thought it was each opponent. Okay, never mind then. Although you could chord for Shaman like in their upkeep, but you may accidentally like draw a Shaman. Would Quirion ever just apply fighting 4 Chord of Palace? Too much minor. It's just too much damage. You already have a really painful mana base. We have a lot of forest in the deck. Alright, can we mute the word Craterhoof? So my opponent can attack for a lot, but I can... It doesn't really almost matter how much damage they attack for. Because I'm going to have like 50 or 60 power and toughness to block with. But it does matter if they can kill me with like Valakut triggers. Yeah, I can beat the Titans themselves, I think. My opponent also is 1 mana short of casting a Colossus, but they have 9 cards in their hand. It's likely they've got, you know, maybe like, you know, another ramp spell into a Colossus. Questing Beast? I don't know. It's like... just a green mirror. So this might be their last Teleria West. I think it's a lot of times right now they just play 2. Bleak Oblique, good username. Thank you for the tier 1. So they reveal Cultivator Colossus this time, which I can't imagine I'm beating. Let's go to game 2. You're dead to 3 attacks a second with the Valakuts? Yeah, I think so. I'm dead to the Valakut damage, not the, you know, regular damage. Okay, so we get to bring in Magus, Rex Sage, triple Force of Vigor. I don't think we want Mark of Asylum for Valakut damage. Yeah, that seems to be it. I think it's like almost impossible to ever cut the Realmwalker. I think I'm down to trim a Tyvar. I'm down to trim 2 Dwynen's Elites. 1 Nettle Sentinel, 1 Quirion Ranger. Tyvar, I think I still want 2. I think it's hard to go less than 2. Carrion Feeder is good against Living End. I think Seer may be better. It's kind of close. But like having a good 1 mana card to court for against Living End, I think is important enough to have. Skite is usually good in this matchup. I like strongly disagree that I want to have Spell Skite in my deck in this matchup, but could be wrong. It needs a little bit of help, but we've got a lot of mana. No, they're Amulet Titan. They're not Timeless Lotus. I would bring in Revoker against Timeless Lotus though. Yeah, Seer's better with Chorus. That's true. Although against Living End, I'm cutting some Choruses. Revoker naming Ring or Stronghold could be huge. Can't name Stronghold. It only names non-lands. Naming Ring is fine. Could play Ouphe instead. So if I draw a Chord of Calling, they may die to... They'll die to Magus if they don't have another basic forest. Because of layers. Sorry, or Magus is also a card we could draw, right? Tyvar's not doing a lot. Maybe I could have mulliganed this hand, honestly. I think I'll just go ahead and cycle this Tyvar too. So we have a really big board. We can Warmaster next turn for a pretty good amount if we draw a 1 mana. If we draw an elf especially, because it'll trigger Warmaster and stuff. Let's see. You have an extra land drop they can play this turn. Elvish Archdruid, I think, would be... Elvish Archdruid, Chord of Calling, Magus of the Moon, Force of Vigor, Reclamation Sage... 1 mana elf also might be lethal. It's gonna be like I think a little short, just without actually calculating yet. I don't think I sacked the Heath yet because I have Realmwalker and Elven Chorus in my deck, of course. Okay. 1, 2, 3. They're probably holding Valakut. They are not probably holding Valakut. They have 2 cards in their hand. One of them is a Titan. They might be holding Valakut. I guess so. If I tap 3 more, I can attack for like 8. But then I don't have either. I guess I can untap with Tyvar next turn. It's not great. I don't get packed for Dryad turn 2 play. Well, they're just developing their mana so they can Titan. So they can Titan on, like, a following turn. You know, Dryad's, like, a little bit better than Azusa in these spots. They just wanted to get up to 6 mana. The turn after the pact resolves. Oh, the One Ring. Oh, another Dryad is so bad. No, that's what the Grist. Grist sucks in this deck. Don't play Grist and Elves. I'll say this, every time I get the same question, my answers get more and more hyperbolic. Like, Grist has, like, text or whatever, but it's not a card I think you should play in Elves. It's a card that gets suggested constantly. It's not a card I think makes a lot of sense to play in Elves. It is, like, a good card in Weird Deck with Chord of Calling, but it's just, like, we have a ton of other 3-drops. Alright, -2, put 4 elves into play? 3 elves into play. I guess I could just go play lands, activate attack with everything. Yeah. Should be lethal. Warmaster is such a good elf. Probably leave this one back. Yeah, elves is a combo deck, not a like slow, grindy Grist deck. Good way to put it. Better than how I put it, for sure. Do I really want to play a Collector Ouphe? Also stops explosives, which they do have sometimes. Yeah, it's probably my best way to stop, like, ring chains. Trim an elite. Maybe I should be trimming an Elven Chorus, actually. Kind of getting low on creatures. It's not an amazing card in this matchup anyways. Yeah, if I could resubmit, I'd have one less chorus, but this hand is so tempting. We have Force of Vigor and Magus. We only have 1 land. I'm supposed to mull to 6. I don't hate this hand. It's like very good if we draw a land or an elf that taps for mana in the top 2. Quirion Ranger also counts as an elf that taps for mana in this instance. So we have 25 good draws in the top. Yeah, that's just the math says keep, I think. What made the decision for Chord of Calling? I played Elves for a long time, years at this point. Chord of Calling is much better than Collected Company in this deck. It lets you it's lower on the mana curve. It allows you to find like the specific piece you need. It's also a good card advantage card with Realmwalker. It makes your sideboard so much better to have cards like Magus of the Moon and stuff like this. Alright, I think I will go ahead and Force of Vigor, since I will be having to go to discard if I brick. Did brick. But of course, it's nice that Force of Vigor is a big speed bump in these kind of games. If they had played the Gardens last turn, I would have, It's unfortunate. Oh, shit. I meant to get Stomping Ground. I'm gonna have to get it now. So, Heritage Druid is now very good draw. Probably the best draw. Chord of Calling also lets me go like Dwynen's Elite, Chord of Calling for Heritage Druid, which is maybe a little slow. Seems like they played around Force of Vigor, which is kind of unfortunate, but, obviously something they seemingly could easily play around. So next turn they'll have 6 mana if we don't draw a land or Heritage Druid. Unfortunate. Is what it is. Yeah, Force of Vigor also would have been a good draw here. Opponent also, they have 4 cards in their hand. They don't necessarily have everything they need. Yeah, they'll have 8 mana, just counting that they're getting up to 6. Okay, their hand is Bounce Land Mystery card. They don't have it, so huge top deck now for us. And that is the best possible. Which we like to see, huh? Huge news. So this is... It's enough for me to go Elven Chorus into Magus. I think it's probably better to go Archdruid into Magus, so I can have a ton of green mana. I guess I already have a ton of green mana. That what they so they have Simic Growth Chamber mystery card. The mystery card that they had could potentially be a dismember for Magus, but it's not. And we're 3-1 with Elves. We just always do. Elves is not that bad a deck. It is maybe not good against like the top 2 decks in the format, but if you're like playing shit in leagues and stuff, it's like F&M. It seems fine. Like we're like over the last 3 leagues at this point we are 12-2. Fury, good for the format consume. Elven Anthem is so good against Fury. I swear it's good, Spike. You don't even know. It gives your creatures +1/+1. Can't really mold a 5 super well. But it's a Kahira deck. Kahira is probably not a great matchup. We'll get by with a little help from our elves. Alright, pretty damn good turn 2. It's kind of unfortunate I don't have a forest, because I could, like, pretty easy, I think, kill with Ezuri next turn if I had one to, like, untap my Archdruid. Maybe easy is not the right word, but possibly. Cascade Beans. Yeah, it will feel bad to play against Cascade Beans twice in this league. My opponent says GG. They have Beanstalk Fury. Kind of, BM, I don't know. They're not wrong. I haven't played against Cascade Beans all week. First league with Elves twice. You know, I wasn't trimming Archdruid last time. It's actually, like, what needs to be cut in these matchups. Yeah, I'm not sure about the triple Force of Vigor plan, but I want to try it. No Asylum. It's tough. Because, like, I think so, like, what's nice about Asylum is it stops Fury plus Scam Fury. But I think Forge-Tender is nice because it's castable off Elven Chorus, and they're only, like, their Furies are only, like, 1-use Furies. We don't have Black Mana for Tyvar, but we do have, like, turn 2 Warmaster plus Mystic plus Force of Vigor I think we keep. Yeah, Asylum is more for Murktide and Scam, and, like, I think Forge-Tender is a bit better here. Although it could be good. Yeah, we could still want the first Mark of Asylum, but they've got like Teferi bounce it into like stuff too, which is tough. Yeah. The suggestion of cutting Elven Chorus in this matchup is also, I think, like really ridiculous. So like if that's where you think we're at to facilitate it, I feel good about not having it. Like this is like you need 4 Elven Chorus in these matchups for sure. Caboose with the 2 years, happy anniversary. Okay, so they're not Cascade Beans. Good to know. I know I shocked in this Stomping Ground, but I actually think it's better to, after some reflection, to try to trigger the Warmaster next turn, not play it into another Prismatic Ending. Not a card I've really been playing against much lately. Alright, so they Solitude my Warmaster, pitching it to Fairy. They have 4 cards left in their hand. Maybe they have a backup to Fairy. 1 mana Elf would be really nice if that's the case. What is this? Oh, it's just Kahira in hand. So maybe another Solitude seems likely. Alright, good mana base, Spike. Yeah, also, like, they're not Cascade Beans, so, like, I guess that we're not going to be bringing in all these Force of Vigors for Game 3. We'll have some number, maybe. They have a ring. Come on, 1 mana Elf. Dwynen's Elite also works. Ah, man. Just really need to be able to slam the Chorus this turn. Yeah, I should have Pendelhaven, whatever. So my opponent has a Solitude, which they maybe don't have if they played a Kahira. But if they don't have anything here while they're tapped out, got a chance. I have to hit it super well off our Elven Chorus, of course. But it all starts somewhere. That is, like, you know, the best card we can see on top, so good news, huh? Holy shit, 2 Nettle Sentinels off the top! What the hell? Okay, bad news. So I can cast the Tyvar to get to, you know, clear the top of my library. And then I get to go Heritage Druid 1, 2, 3 in response to these untapped triggers. Oh, could have tapped a little bit better, I suppose. And we brick, unfortunately, off the Tyvar and off the Elven Chorus, which is bad. Yeah, I could have also cast the Forge-Tender if I think I misstacked my triggers. No, I didn't. I didn't stack them, did I? No, I didn't. Just got 9 cards in their hand. The deck's all removal. Probably gonna lose, but just very. It was you know, seemingly close to like the kind of turn we needed to come back here. Why not cast Forge-Tender? I wanted to make more green mana so I could like continue to chain stuff, and then I could like cast the Forge-Tender eventually. Like, I could either cast the Forge-Tender or float 3 green mana. I think floating 3 green mana was way better to try to continue to cast a bunch of stuff. Oh, Tyvar passive. Right, of course. Sorry, Tyvar, that's the Forge-Tender tap for mana. Of course. Yeah, so potentially having that in play this turn would have been crucial, huh? Yeah, if this was a green card too, we'll just go ahead and concede. Alright, so 3-2 first league, obviously not awful. Lost to Bean deck twice. If I knew that they were Ring Bean instead of Cascade Bean, we also like would have sideboarded differently, and like we wouldn't have had like this Force of Vigor that was pretty tough in our hand. We were like missing like a land or an elf to like try to go off a turn sooner. But obviously those matchups are not good. Yeah, that's right, they had ending for it. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, GG, huh?